So next company presenting is Biel Glases.
Thank you. My name is Jaume Puig. I'm the CEO of Biel Glases. And our project started with my son Biel. Biel was born with a disease which causes him low vision. When we realized that his eyes do not adapt well to the world, we decided to adapt the world to his eyes. Low vision is a visual impairment that is not a complete blindness, but cannot be arranged with glasses or surgery, and it's 7 times more common than blindness. It can be caused by many different diseases, and it can affect the whole visual field or part of it. When you have peripheral vision loss, there are mobility problems which causes dependency. Our solution is based in using technology from other fields like robotics or autonomous vehicles like 3D vision, artificial intelligence, and mixed reality to adapt the reality to the existing visual capacity of the people who have low vision. We can see this in this example. This is how somebody with low vision see. You can see that they need to be scanning the ground all the time in order to avoid fixed or mobile obstacles. And now we will see the same situation using our solution. First, we have a crossing height in order that they can get to know where the green is light. The light is green. And then they don't need to be scanning the ground, because if there any risk for mobility, the system warns them, introducing signals using augmented reality. Now you can see the steps down, and then we can enhance the steps, border of the steps, in order to know where to put the feet. There are other complementary functions like zoom or contrast improvement to have a complete solution. Now we see a user using the prototype, and you can see how the user realizes of the existence of the obstacles. Comparing with other competitors, we focus on mobility, because the other competitors do only other things right, but we are the only ones which have specific functions for mobility. There are more than 7 million people in Europe who has mobility problems related to low vision. It yields a total market of more than 5,000 million euros. The product will be sold in specialized optical stores, specialty in low vision, that will sell and set up the product for the specific needs of each patient. And we work as well with the ophthalmologist in order that they know the product and they can prescribe it. The price will be 4,900 euros, but the patients will be able to access to several disability grants depending on the countries. We have already more than 60% of the existing specialized retailers of low vision products in Spain, which are interested in distributing our product, and we collaborate with the main associations of patients in Spain to develop the product. Our team is composed by people from the technology sector, from electronics and IT, and as well we have one of the Lali Sanchez, which is one of the main specialists in low vision in Spain. And we have as well an advisory board with great personalities from neuro-ophthalmology or mobility, electronics, etc. Now we have received some grants, public grants, and we are finishing the development of the product, and we will plan to open a seed round in a couple of months as a previous step to a Series A round for 1.2 million euros to finance the launch and the industrialization of the product. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Jaume?
Hi. So 10 years ago, one of the first companies I assessed when I was working with the Ontario Centres of Excellence was eSight. So, and I know the technology very well. It was also actually developed because of the owners, sisters owners had the same problem of actually impairment, visual impairment. And by the way, they are also very strong in mobility, not only in TV and cinema. So I will ask you probably the same question I asked 10 years ago, and I think it's still valid. So their actually main challenge was to make insurance company pay for this device. So it's a device which is more expensive than yours, but they never succeed to make actually insurers paying for their devices. So most of the customers buy themselves, or actually they have grant through actually different associations. So I'm going to ask you this question. Do you have a plan to make insurance company pay for this device?
Well, it's depending on countries. In the States, right now it's quite difficult to make the insurance companies to pay for assistive technology, not only for this kind of, because this is more assistive technology than medical technology, because we are not healing. We are trying to improve the quality of life of the users. In Europe, for example, in Catalonia, there are grants that the government, through the health system or social services, can pay totally or partially the product. And other countries, like for example in Denmark, which is one of the beachhead markets, they probably, as for the studies that we did, it's probably that they can pay for the whole product. But yeah, it's difficult. Actually, eSight is much expensive than our product. They are selling about 8,000, more than 8,000 euros.
9,900.
Exactly, but nevertheless, we are not cheap. We are trying to be as cheap as possible, but this technology it has cost because it's very high technology, and it's very difficult to make it lower than 4,000. All the products are around 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 euros, and well, we should work with the associations of patients to press the governments in order this kind of products get inside of the health systems or the social services systems. But there is no magic solution for this.
Okay, thank you.
Out of curiosity and two questions in one. How long did you take to get to here? When the project started, and why is it so expensive? What is your margin on every unit? So,
well, the idea is was about 2015, so it's about 4 years or so. But the first 3 years, 2 years or so, it was not possible to build the system because actually I think that we are quite different from eSight, because eSight works on the whole image, but we use artificial intelligence to detect features of the image, and it means you need quite computing power at very low latency. So there was no hardware for doing this. The first hardware that was able to carry out the program appeared 1 year and a half. And the question about the cost is because this technology that we use is not cheap. It's not that cheap as we wanted to. We need a very good displays, very good computer, very good cameras to make the system. The margin is not. We are, let's say, a gross margin of about 60%, but there is a margin for the shop as well, because the optical store needs to earn something, because they have to configure, to set up, and they should as well support the user, because there is the possibility of the user to have degenerative diseases, and so many times the glasses need to be readjusted. But as I said, we are in the average price in the market for this kind of devices. We all hope, because one of the customers could be my son, that it could be more cheap, or than the governments could help more easily the people to get this technology, but it's something that we have to work in.
Thank you very much. Two questions. The first one, very simple. Is this a spin-off or a startup? And the second one, you mentioned at some point that the cost of low vision impairment was 9,000 a year, something like that.
Yeah, well, actually,
Could you elaborate on that? Because I would have, out of complete naivety, I would have never thought it would come to that much.
The first question,
Is it a startup or a spin-off?
well, very differently to most of the companies that are showing up today, we are not coming from the university. We come from the need. We are my wife and I, which are founders of the company, needed this device. I am an electronic engineer, and she's a doctor, but we didn't come to the university. We are not from the university. We went to the university. We have partnership with two different universities. One University Rey Juan Carlos in Madrid for the EA development, and UPC here in Barcelona, optometry faculty for the validation of the product. But we created the company, and well, more or less was the same at the time that we created the company and had the agreements with the universities to start the work. And the second question about the cost of having low vision. There are many different studies because there are different impacts on life, which is the dependency, the inability to have a job, the cost of devices, and the best study that we found is a study from the Chicago University, which makes a calculation of about $10,000 per year per person of the cost of having low vision.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one thing. It's about don't you think that with this technology can be surpassed for other technologies coming just before you reach this clinical validation that you're looking for?
Do you mean modern cells or?
Yeah, but a new generation of virtual realities or these all these kind of things that are coming?
I don't think so, because actually if we're thinking about devices that adapt the reality, I would say that we are in the most advanced, use the most advanced technology comparing with our competitors. I used to say that we take the long road, because there were other solutions like picking some product out of the shelf. There are other competitors which uses augmented reality glasses existing, and they just make small adaptations and an application, and we pick different components, and we are building our own device in order to have the best possible output. So we don't think so in this.
Thanks.
So thanks a lot.
You're welcome.